My name is John, and I am a nobody. I wanted to have a little chat today about something that's a little bit somber. It's about how short our memories are. My wonderful daughter told me, or reminded me, that children have a very short memory span. So last week is like ancient history for them. And that's so true. But it's also true of human beings. So we have people who think that the Second World War was part of ancient history. Well, it wasn't. I used to play with a drummer, and he had a father who was a little bit older, and he'd lived through the Second World War in Holland, in Amsterdam. And the Germans had come and taken his wife and his child while he was away, and he was fixated with the whole theme. So he'd look at documentaries on the Holocaust and look to see if he could see his wife and child featured in a documentary, which is tragic, really. He got married later to a woman, and I asked her once what it was like, the war and everything. And she said, well, it all started for me when I went to make coffee in the kitchen. And I looked out the window, and there was a German tank out in the street, parked in the street. I hope that we never have to go through that when we wake up in the morning and the first thing we see is a foreign armoured vehicle in the street outside. We all think we have problems, and we do, but it's nothing compared to this. I met a woman once who'd been in a concentration camp. She must have been quite young at the time, because she was young when I met her in Amsterdam. She was working for my then manager. And she actually showed me the number she had tattooed on her arm. So she must have been a child when she was taken away, but she survived. More importantly, I met, when I was in Berlin, not more importantly, but also of interest, I met a man who was quite old then. He was a guitarist, a jazz guitarist, and he'd survived the Holocaust because he'd been a musician, and he'd been playing at the gates of Auschwitz. That's why they didn't kill him. He'd been playing in this little orchestra or little band, and they do this well-known pop song, play along as the trains arrived, and people got taken off the trains, and it was decided then which ones would go to be gassed. This is a terrible story. I met this man because I was doing a translation at the time on German Jews who had survived while they continued to live in Berlin. It was for a famous German organization. I was one of the translators, a bit like the British Council. And I went down to see this man play. He was still playing. He was in his 90s, but he was still playing guitar in a little jazz band. And it was incredible to see him play and to see him alive and well after having survived Auschwitz. I'm sorry if this was a little bit somber for you, not very upbeat, but it's good to be reminded that sometimes our lives might seem difficult or we might have problems, but compared to what these people went through, it's nothing. Okay, well, take care of yourself and those you love, and I hope to see you in the next one. Tschüssikowski. I'll try and make the next one a bit chirpier. Bye for now.